Yo, heard. Word to moms. I know I'm small time right now. Hey, listen. Hey, listen. And I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to continue to thrive and be successful up in here, Rock Nation. Please understand, I am commentating on the situation. I am not saying, you know what I'm saying? I'm just giving my thoughts and ideas. If I said anything to offend, I apologize. Please listen, understand that I want to promise. And we are back after a little hiatus, man. How y'all doing? It's been a little bit. I've been on some adventures, had to take care of some family stuff, had to get my mind right. Ultimately, we back on track, baby. We are back in Nemo's room where we ingest, digest, and break it down. Today we got an interesting one. JayZ and Pusha-T. More Epstein files were released. Now, there's so many of these files, and so many people have been named in it, and it is crazy to me to think that JayZ and Pusha-T, JayZ, first of all, crazy name. Honestly, I'm not too surprised that he came up, because you know he's up there, he's in the billionaire club, you know what I'm saying? And like I said in one of my previous videos, you know, once you get into the money and you get into the game, once you get into the top echelon, you know what I'm saying? Weird stuff. There's weird stuff up there. You know what I'm saying? And they all got their secrets, and I can't rightfully put it past him. You know what I'm saying? It's weird to say, but like it kind of fits. Pusha-T now. That's a weird name. That's a weird one for me. I don't know what he's doing in there, why he's in there. But let's find out. Let's find out what's going on with these files, man.
Back in 2019, when Epstein was initially arrested, the FBI opened up a tip line. And the tip line was for anybody with any type of information on Epstein, his co-conspirators, if you were a young woman who was there. Because, you know, the Epstein network was so vast that when the FBI arrested Epstein, for the most part, they thought they didn't even uncover 1% of the iceberg. So this tip line was opened up. Now, this tip line had a lot of accusations coming. Unfortunately for JayZ and Pusha-T, they both had allegations about themselves come through the tip line. In the case of JayZ, he's beyond cooked in the eyes of public perception. Because the victim came forward July 10th, 2019, 8:20 a.m. Eastern. On July 10th, 2019 at 8:20 a.m. Eastern, the particular victim called the FBI National Threat Operations Center to identify herself as a victim of abuse by Jeffrey Epstein and others. Now, they provided the following information. So this essentially is like a transcript of what they provided. So they said in approximately 1994, there's a bunch of redaction. I'm assuming is victim names, etc., etc. So this got redacted, but she revealed herself to blank, which I'm assuming is like the call center employee that answered this call, as a past victim of abuse by Jeffrey Epstein. She described the abuse occurred during parties. Now, we all know, you know, a bunch of these abuse did happen at these parties, right? I think Jeffrey Epstein was known to throw these really like wild parties that had these like wild massages. I think like in like the first little piece of Epstein files that kind of got released like a couple years ago, we heard, you know, like there were like midgets there, like there were like really tiny people, like 4'9" midgets, and like people indulged in that. Like it was
Bro, when I think back to the description of the stuff that they were saying was going on in the islands or at these parties, I instantly was thinking like Wolf of Wall Street on like 10,000. High of making money almost had to be paired with like the high of doing whatever the fuck you wanted to do. And I feel like that's what these parties were. Just whatever the fuck he wanted to do. Whatever crazy ideas he was thinking of, like, yeah, we're doing it. It's a petting zoo today where it's giraffes and fucking monkeys walking around. Like, I'm telling you, when you get up into the upper echelon, dog, and you can fund the ideas that go around in your head, dog, some crazy shit going on.
Epstein apparently provided you with whatever your speed was. Dwarfs, he would provide you with dwarfs.
See what I'm saying?
That's what went down at these parties. Okay, so yeah, so apparently she was brought to parties, and you know she was the party favor for a bunch of weirdos. Redactions right here are very suspicious. So blank. So this is like the victim's name. Further identified blank as a friend of blank. I'm assuming blank and blank are now minors. Blank and blank are people in high position of power. So she will claim that in approximately 1996, which is about 2 years after this whole nonsense began to happen, where she was being used as party favors at, Epstein. Apparently, she resided with blank, which is, I'm assuming, like one of, her like perpetrators in blank state. An unknown man abducted her from her home when she later awoke in the presence of Harvey Weinstein and Sean Carter, JayZ. So,
what the hell JayZ doing with Harvey?
She apparently lived at this residence with somebody I'm assuming is also a perpetrator.
Nah, imagine that though. Imagine that. Like you sleep and then you wake up and the first two people you see are JayZ and Harvey Weinstein. What are you doing?
While Weinstein apparently had his fingers into, we can probably guess where he had his finger into. Right? Now, she believed that she was in Epstein's mansion. Now, she estimated she was abducted on 7 occasions. Now, hold on. 7? Awakened each time in an opulent indoor setting. She suffered from abuse on multiple of those occasions in which Epstein participated. She recalled that Leon Black and William Barr, current United States Attorney General, being present during some of the occasion of abuse. In approximately 2006, she last recalled being abused by Epstein. Now, okay, so this started in 1994 and lasted to about 2006. I'm assuming at some point here she stopped.
From 1994 to 2006. 17 years, bro. That's a long time to be dealing with this shit. She is psychologically not the same. Never.
Being a minor, right? Yeah, like I'm assuming, let's just say she was 14 in 1994. That would mean by 1998, she became 18. And this lasted until 2006. Now, I'm not questioning, whatever she went through as a minor. If she's being truthful about what happened here is very unfortunate.
And she was a minor.
Last until 2006. Like, there's something very wrong with that picture from my perspective.
That's what I'm saying.
Her story, she didn't really list anything that JayZ did specifically, but she did say that Harvey Weinstein, digitally penetrated her, but JayZ didn't, penetrate her. JayZ was just present, which to me is just as bad, right? Like, if this alleged minor was abducted from her home, brought to an Epstein mansion, and it was you, Harvey Weinstein, and Epstein there, and this minor was enduring abuse in your presence, to me, you are just as guilty.
I mean, yeah. Even if your alibi or your story is, nigga, I was just sitting there. I was just in the room and this dude started doing weird shit. Like, what? Okay, you peep the scenario. Then you see this girl is like half sleep, unconscious type shit, laying in the bed, and then you see Harvey go over there and start doing some things, and you say nothing. You just sit there. How the fuck would that even absolve you of shit? Whether you're a grown-ass man watching another grown-ass man do some weird-ass shit, and you doing nothing, you're saying nothing, you're just watching him do the shit to another person. Not even that he's just doing some weird shit. I'd understand if he was just doing some weird shit in the room or whatever, fucking, you're just like, okay, cool, this guy's a fucking weirdo. But he's doing said weird shit to another human being, to a woman at that. And you're just sitting in the room. Weird.
As whoever is doing the abuse, I don't distinguish it. Whoever is there is just as guilty and equally as guilty.
Yes, sir.
Again, this is just a tip, right? Now, however this tip was investigated, no charges were ever brought, right? Like, as far as I know, JayZ was never brought for a subpoena, a deposition, nothing.
Nope.
And this particular tip didn't go anywhere. But because the tip came in by Epstein, it was included in the Epstein files. Fortunately for Pusha-T, we can't say the same because she did list things that Pusha.
Okay, so if I'm understanding correctly, it's not it's not that he might have actually done some shit, but the fact that he was named in the files is why my boy here is saying that he's cooked, which doesn't make sense. For your name to pop up in the files is not a good thing at all in any context. You know what I'm saying? You could be in there saying telling somebody, telling Trump, yo, chill, or telling Epstein, yo, chill, like, this is, it's not okay, or I won't be taking part in none of this stuff, or whatever. You could be doing all that talk, but being in those files, being in the know of all that shit that was going on, and not being a person that stepped forward before all the files dropped, to expose this motherfucker, it's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt, and it looks crazy and believable, because there's already like circulated, there's already talk about how, JayZ and Beyonce are, running with these weird cliques and stuff, and these weird white folks in the upper echelon and stuff. And, once they got into the billionaire club, they move a little weirder, they move like royalty. They've done so much. They've stacked so much protection on themselves, in a sense, you know what I'm saying? But this is crazy that, JayZ's name's getting brought up in this shit, and also that he had a prior case to this. But overall, it seems that it's just him being named in these files. It's not that he per se did anything. Even though, like I said, if he was there and it was just Steve, if it was just Harvey in the room doing the weird shit to the girl, and he was just watching, that's still fucked up.
It will continue, and it will state on each occasion she believed she was drugged, clouded her memory. She attributed the drugging as frequently performed by persons assigned as handlers. Now, one of the handlers she would say will be Pusha-T, because at the time, I would say Pusha-T don't really belong in those rooms. Pusha-T was not a superstar. He was not a megastar. He wasn't somebody of importance. That's like you seen Poetic Flacco in a room with Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. You will say, what is this dirtball doing in this room? I'm probably the handler in that regard. Okay, so this story makes sense, to be honest. Again, I'm not saying Pusha is guilty of anything. I'm just saying Pusha role being in that room makes sense, okay? Now, it will continue, and she will say, among her handlers, she identified the artist Pusha-T. In approximately 2007, she attended a party following invitation unknown man who approached.
Sorry, we're going to rewind that. But I was just thinking about, why would Pusha-T be one of the handlers? Yeah, it doesn't make sense for him to even be in those rooms because we know who Pusha-T is, right? And even though he's not like a big dog like JayZ, you know what I mean? He's Pusha fucking T, you know what I'm saying? We can't just it's Pusha fucking T, and if he's in those rooms, he's in those rooms on purpose. You know what I'm saying? And he knows what he's doing. He's not in there on some errand boy shit. You know what I mean? He's making a calculated move to network with this man, or you know what I'm saying? Like we've seen it done before. Pusha's not a pushover. Okay? I don't understand why he would be a handler. So a little wonky on that one too.
As she walked out, Weinstein and Pusha T also attended the party and drugged her before engaging in a. So now Pusha T went from being just a handler to now Pusha T was also engaging in the abuse. Now, she claimed to have additional information of other persons involved in the enterprise and information.
The drugs. Now, I could see him being the connect, the guy, the plug. That being a reason for him being in one of those rooms, you know what I'm saying? Now this fucking sexual abuse thing, like he'd have to be on drugs too. Like if we're thinking about his character, shit. Because I was thinking, then I remembered that him and his brother just dropped Clips, which is massive. Clips is so good. Clips is good as fuck. Like, and then the files. Okay, but being fair, okay. Fuck. Never mind. Yep.
Related to the racketeering conducted in support of the trafficking. She further believed she was under surveillance, stalked at the direction of the people involved in the abuse. She confirmed she was not
Not Pusha T. Why did I do that to myself? It's fuck.
Diagnosed with any mental illness. She refused to provide her physical address, advising that she maintained no permanent address. Rather, she moved between staying at different hotels. So this was somebody who was homeless, which I don't know if that gives more credibility or takes it away. I'm not about to, like diminish the abuse just because it's somebody right now probably in a position that's unfavorable. right? A lot of people see a homeless woman making these allegations and they'll probably say, crazy. I don't know. Now, what I would say, man, is...
But homeless in what way? Homeless in what way? Because for a woman to have been at that party, she had to have been bad, right? She had to have been at least a baddie, right? If we're thinking logic, right? She doesn't have to be super bad, but she had to at least have been a baddie, right? So when we say homeless, do we mean she just doesn't own a home of her own, but she stays with friends that we know she has, or she bounces between places, or did she just recently come out of a home? Okay, because if we're talking about it, like, how does, like, they're not going on the street and picking up homeless women or homeless people in general to do anything. You know what I'm saying? You had to have fit. You know what I'm saying? So in like what sense are you homeless? Because you obviously were able to attend a party or be at a place where you definitely weren't dressed like a bum or hobo to be at said place, because there's obviously dress codes.
Kanye West has been telling us for years that one of these dudes was on Epstein Island, that one of these dudes were involved with Epstein, but we just ain't been paying attention. This song wasn't dropped too long ago, right? On World War III version 2, Kanye West says, know some ninjas that went to that island. Why the F would you go to that island? Now, Kanye West, has been around Pusha, has been around JayZ. They've been feuding for a little while now. One can probably only imagine that if he were to be talking about some dudes, he'll probably be talking about Pusha or JayZ, man. Listen, man, I'm just a messenger here, bruh. Hey, Rock Nation, all right, don't hurt me, bro. All right, I'm just a YouTuber. I'm just reporting.
Yo, word to moms. I know I'm small time right now. Hey, listen, and I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to continue to thrive and be successful up in here, Rock Nation. Please understand, I am commentating on the situation. I am not saying, you know what I'm saying. I'm just giving my thoughts and ideas. If I said anything to offend, I apologize. Please listen, understand that I want no problems. All right.
What I think could apply here, but we've been calling Kanye crazy for a while now, man. But the one thing we know, ain't that crazy? The one person we call crazy, we call a lunatic, we call bipolar, we say he belongs in a mental health institute. Somehow that person is the only person we don't see in these Epstein files. We don't see with nasty allegations towards us.
Now that's an interesting topic there. Interesting point, sorry. Because where the fuck JayZ? I mean, JayZ, Nation, but it makes more sense than a Pusha-T, right? Pusha-T getting thrown in there. Random, but like I said, I explained with the album and all that shit, we can make a little sense, okay? Now, if Kanye, the whistleblower of the century, of my generation, is named in any of these files or found up anywhere, I'm gonna start thinking motherfuckers is just inserting shit and none of this shit is factual.
JayZ to me, and here's why I think, even though the allegations are unsubstantiated, because these are just, tips coming through a hotline, fortunately for Jay, the world already wants to believe these allegations. So there's nothing Jay can do to really convince people that he's not guilty. Man, as soon as Jay hit that B, bro, hit that billion, hip-hop got really suspicious of JayZ. And also, too, hip-hop getting suspicious of JayZ is for good reason. Like, we seen how JayZ operated with the NFL, bro. We seen how JayZ sold out for $1. So we've already been very suspicious of JayZ, and Rock Nation right now is public enemy number 1.
Damn, I forgot about the NFL situation, man. That was kind of... At first, I fucked with him because he was like, I ain't doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Which I think was around the Kaepernick times. So I was like, all right, yeah, I'll follow with that. But then the results, I was like,
there's nothing JayZ can do to convince us it's not true, because the public wants to believe them. Now, Pusha-T may have some saving grace here, because Pusha-T, for the most part, ain't somebody who's hated. And Pusha-T ain't somebody who we are rooting against. And by we, I'm just saying the public So Pusha T might have some action here. JayZ, don't even listen, man. You about to have 1,000 different reaction channels breaking down every photo JayZ ever took with Harvey Weinstein.
Content, brother. I'm just trying to make me a bag, is it?
How people are treating these Epstein files, they're not treating these Epstein files as allegations. They're saying these Epstein files have been hidden for so long that whatever is on these files have to be true, because why would they hide it for so long? So when your name is wrapped up in these files, kiss your public reputation goodbye, man.
That is actual factual honesty, because this shit has been cooking. We've been like, yo, what the fuck's going on? Because we know that there was a lot of you motherfuckers that went to that island. You know what I'm saying? A lot of you fucking billionaires, trillionaires, presidentes, ex-presidentes, you know what I'm saying? Lawyers, Supreme Court justices. Hey, listen. We knew that there was big names on there. So now that it's dropping, it's kind of like, you know, they've been holding this shit for so long because there's these big names on there. You know, now that it's dropping, what else are we supposed to do? And then on top of that, now that it's dropping and we're seeing all these things, bro, there has to be some kind of consequences. There has to be. Some of these guys a lot of these guys are still alive, you know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys can pay for this shit, you know what I'm saying? There need to be proper investigation, proper consequences need to be dealt for things, you know what I'm saying? Because we know some crazy things went on the island, and bro, if it goes by unpunished and we just start sweeping shit under the rug, the people ain't gonna fuck with that. I promise you. But y'all let me know what you think in the comment section, man. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one.